What's up, guys? Come join me for my workout I did today. So today's workout, I decided to work on speed agility. So the workout that I chose for me was 2x2 block starts, 2x2 sled pulls, and a little bit of curve starts with the blocks, just to get my stuff ready and so I'll be able to feel good coming out the blocks. Moving forward to my first set, it felt really good. I was just trying to get the feeling of it, just trying to get out strong. I can always improve on that one. And that's exactly what I did going into my second rep. I came out way more explosive. I engaged, and it just looked good overall. Now going into my second set, this block start wasn't the best one because I did cycle, but luckily I had good speed recovery for it. Going into my last rep, this was probably the best block start I had overall on the straightaway. I engaged my hips way more, and I just came out really explosive. Moving forward to the sled pulls, this type of workout, I was really just focused on applying pressure while maintaining form and speed. Then I decided to work on some block starts on the curve, just so I could feel comfortable running on the curve and just trying to stay in the lane because these lanes are tight. I did some curve block starts for about two more reps. This is the second one. I came out pretty good. It looked the same as the first rep, I'm not gonna lie. Going into my third one, it looked the same, about as the same other ones. The first and the second one, they all look the same and they look good. And I just have a good feeling that I'm gonna open up with some good stuff going into this outdoor season. Moving forward into weight room, I was doing this workout just to warm my body up. If you know what the workout is called, please let me know in the comments because I forgot what this workout is called. I do it all the time, doing track workouts and everything, but I just forgot what it was called. But you guys should let me know what's your PR in bench and cleans. Drop in below in the comments. My PR for bench is about 275, and for cleans, I could clean about 245. I think that's pretty good as a freshman in college. That's not too crazy, but it's something to improve for sure. Not gonna lie. And then I moved forward to warming up for the cleans. I had to make sure my posture was right, the form was good, and it looked good to me. Moving forward into the workout, I put 155 on there for about 3 reps. The main focus I was working on for cleans was to make sure I bend my knees a little bit, so I don't gotta catch it with my legs being all straight, because that's what I usually do. But my coach told me to bend my knees, and that's what I was working on. And then I put 165. I did that for 2. It felt really good knowing that I was being really explosive and powerful, catching the bar and everything. So, yeah, make sure you guys really bend your knees before you pick that bar up, because you gotta be explosive in order to pick it up. Then I went ahead to do 185 for one, a real good clean one, just to get out the way. I wanted to go heavy, but not too heavy. Then my final rep, I did 225. I ain't gonna lie, it felt a little bit heavy because these weights in this weight room is kind of uneven, so that's why it felt a little heavy. Moving forward to bench press. Now this is personally my favorite workout. Cleans and bench press will always be my favorite. Those will always be my babies. So I was just warming up on the bar. Nothing crazy. I first started off with 155 on the bar. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't heavy really. I usually bench a lot, so this is like a warm up to me. But I was just making sure I didn't bend my arms or any type of way, and just make sure I had good form while bringing the bar up and down. Going forward into the workout, I put 165. I did that for about 4 reps. Nothing crazy. Um, I was just feeling good. Nothing special about benching for me because I usually bench a lot, so that type of weight isn't really that much for me. Then I went to move forward into putting 185. I did that for 4. Um, I was feeling it a little bit because it was 185. That's my body weight or whatever. But yeah, it was nothing crazy. But yeah, going forward, I did 225 for 3. It may look like I was struggling a little bit. That's only because these weights are really old and they're off, really off. Some of them will say 43 and the other one will say 45. But I got out the way regardless. Moving forward into the workout, I did some pull-ups because you always gotta add some free body weight workouts into your routine. Can't always just do weights on weights. So I did a couple pull-ups. I wasn't really keeping track of how many I was doing. I was just doing it until it felt good, until my body was like, all right, give yourself a minute and then get back to it. And that's what I was really just doing. I went to move forward into doing abs. I was doing leg raises. Again, I wasn't really keeping track of how many I was doing. I was just doing it until my body felt right. Like once my body was like giving out, I'll give it a minute or two, get back to it, and do it all over again. But the reason why I'm really heavy on doing core is because I need my core. Everybody needs core. Core holds structure and make sure your form is good. And it just gives you a good physique overall, and that's really good, and it benefits you into going to a race. And that's why I'm really strong on doing core. Moving to the med ball ab workouts, I was doing some crutches, and you're supposed to hold the med ball as high as you can, but my abs were kind of going through it, so I did have a little slight bend. Okay, not slight, a lot. I bent my arms a lot, but that didn't really matter because at the end of the day, I was still going through it, and I moved forward, going on to the next workout. Then I moved forward to do some Russian twists. I wasn't really keeping track of how many I was doing. I was just doing it until my body gave out and it was ready to go to the next one. But you always gotta make sure you add a core workout because it's really important. And then for my final core workout, I did these straight leg sit ups. Hold the med ball as high as you can. I mean, there was a little bend in my arms because I was getting a little tired, but like I said, I had to see it through it. And that's what I did, and I accomplished the workout, and yeah, it was cool after that. And for dinner, I had chicken, Indian rice, tacos, fajitas, and a little bit of avocado on the side. But yeah, guys, that was my workout. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys ever want a workout plan or want to know what I'll be doing, just let me know in the comments, and I'll gladly be able to share my workout plans with you guys. Till then, I'll see you guys on the next one, and I will be making more videos like this.